guys, it's Megan. Since you guys seem to like my Things to Do When You're Bored videos, I thought it would be fun to come up with 5 easy painting techniques to try when you're bored. These are all super easy and can all be made using paint and various household items. Before we get started though, I wanted to let you guys know that I finally made merch. I ordered one of the sweatshirts and it's super soft. It's perfect for winter. I have stickers, shirts, all kinds of stuff, so make sure to check that out down below if you're interested. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get into the video. The first idea that I have for you guys is to make your own stamps. This is a great way to recycle takeout containers or other styrofoam products, but if you don't have those, you could also use craft foam. Besides that, you'll need a pen, an X-Acto knife or scissors, and either acrylic paint or water-based markers. Start by cutting a piece of foam from your container. This part is optional, but I decided to trace the foam onto a piece of paper to sketch out my design. Since Halloween's right around the corner, I decided to draw a ghost. When you use a stamp, it appears backwards on the paper. Since I had letters in my design, I flipped the paper over and traced the design onto the other side. If you have trouble seeing the original sketch through the paper, try holding it up to a window. When my template was finished, I taped it to my foam and traced around my design with a pen. I made sure to press firmly to carve into the foam. Once everything was traced, I removed the paper and used my pen to make sure that I'd carved the lines deep enough. I divided a page in my sketchbook into 4 sections and painted each one. To use your stamp, cover it with a layer of acrylic paint. I used a paintbrush, but if you have a brayer, that would probably work better. Press the stamp on the paper and lift it up to reveal your design. I didn't seem to get enough paint on my stamp, so I went back and touched it up a little. When I was finished, I had 2 black and 2 white ghost prints. If you don't feel like using paint, an easier way to make prints is by using water-based markers. I drew a rose for this stamp, and I just did it freehand this time. Color the stamp with your markers and brush a small amount of water on your paper. Press the stamp in the wet spot and lift it up to reveal a watercolor style print. I repeated this a few times and outlined each print with a micron pen to make it stand out more. I drew a girl wearing a flower crown in the center of the page. It's definitely not my best work, but it was fun to draw. Let me know what you would put on a stamp in the comments. I've been wanting to try monoprinting for a while now, but haven't gotten around to buying a jelly plate. I realized that I could get a similar effect using a few things you can get at the Dollar Tree. For this project, you'll need a picture frame, a paint roller or a paintbrush, and a few Q-tips. First, remove the glass part from your picture frame. This will be our printing plate. If you don't have a picture frame, you could also use an old CD or DVD. Put a few dots of paint onto your picture frame and either use a paintbrush or a roller to spread it out. Then, take a Q-tip and draw a design in the paint. I chose to draw swirls for this print. There are quite a few things that you can do with this, and let me know if you guys would like to see a full video on different printing techniques. When you're happy with your design, put a piece of paper over it and roll over the paper. I used a clay tool for this, but you can use the roller if you don't mind putting a little paint on the back. Make sure not to press down too hard though, because the paper could rip. Lift your paper up to reveal your print. To clean the glass, just wipe off the excess paint with a damp cloth, and you're ready to make your next print. I'd recommend getting a larger frame. I used one that I had lying around, but it would be smart to buy an 8x10 frame if you plan on printing on computer paper. I just glued the prints to a page in my sketchbook. I'll probably add more to it later, but this is a nice starting point. This could be another nice way to use up extra paint too. Speaking of Q-tips, these are a great tool that you can use to add texture to your paintings. I got a pack of 300 at the dollar store and bundled a handful together with a rubber band to create a grass-like texture for this sketchbook page. I painted the page light green first and dipped the Q-tip bundle into 2 additional shades of green. I stamped them all over the page, and when that dried, I used a single Q-tip dipped in light yellow paint to create flowers. To make the flowers, I made dots in sort of a circle and dragged the dots with my Q-tip to meet in the center. I filled out the flower by creating a few additional petals, again making a dot of paint and dragging it towards the center. When the petals dried, I used a small paintbrush to draw lines in the center of each flower, and used another Q-tip to add dots to the center. I used the detail brush again to draw the flower stems, and here's how the finished painting turned out. It's really amazing what you can do with just a few Q-tips and a little bit of paint. Another fun painting technique to try is finger painting. I'm sure most of us have done this at some point, but if you're anything like me, it probably hasn't crossed your mind for quite a few years. I chose to paint flowers on this page. Finger painting is great for painting florals because of the softer, rounder look you can achieve with it. I started each flower with a dot of yellow in the center, and surrounded it with curved shapes to create the petals. I used dark purple, light purple, and pink for the petals. I'd recommend using at least 2 colors for the larger flowers to give them more dimension. And obviously, you could make the center any color you'd like. With the smaller red and pink flowers, I could have made the center pink instead of yellow to make it look more like a rose. I filled the whole page with flowers of various sizes, and finished the painting by adding small strokes of green paint to resemble leaves. And here's how the finished page turned out. It's not the most impressive thing I've ever done, but it was really fun and relaxing to make. You could also try making one of those satisfying videos inspired by Josie Lewis art on TikTok. She covers a canvas with white acrylic paint, puts dots of paint on 2 edges, and alternates spreading the dots of paint to the opposite edge to create an almost woven effect. If you want a real challenge, you could try painting a whole page using your feet, like I did for this page in my Create This book. Or you could make fingerprints and turn them into various characters. The next technique uses watercolor, which I would still consider paint. Besides watercolor, you'll also need some plastic wrap and of course your paper. Use a large flat brush to cover your page with clean water. Then, use your watercolor to cover the page. I used purple, yellow, and orange since I was still sort of in the Halloween spirit. While the painting is still wet, lay a piece of plastic wrap over it and scrunch it up like this. Let it dry overnight, and when you peel off the plastic wrap, you'll have a cool textured background. To decorate the page, I went through my stash of Halloween stickers and picked out this ghost to put in the center. Then, using the stickers as a reference, I drew ghosts all over the page using a micron pen. So here's how the finished page turned out. I didn't really have a solid plan when I started this page, but I kind of like the way that it looks. The last technique is an easy way to create repeating shapes on a page. All you need is some toilet paper or paper towel rolls and some craft foam. You can use pre-cut shapes, or you can cut them out yourself. I used this little paint roller tray from the Dollar Tree as well, but I realized that I didn't really need it. If you're using foam stickers, just arrange them on the tube. And if you're using foam sheets, cut out the shapes you want and attach them using a hot glue gun. If you don't have craft foam, you can use anything with an interesting texture, like bubble wrap, yarn, or rubber bands like I used here. You could even create a design using hot glue, but just be careful if you choose that option. I ended up cutting the tubes and taping them back together so they'd fit better on the paint roller. But if you don't have a paint roller, you can skip this step. I had quite a few paper towel rolls lying around, so I made a couple of these stamps. I wanted to test the star stamp first. I painted a page in my sketchbook dark blue, and then I placed mini star stickers all over the page. I painted light blue circles over the stickers and peeled them off when the paint dried. Stickers make great stencils to paint over, but if you don't have the shape you want, you can make your own using contact paper. I cut out a heart to use on this page and used some extra paint to go around it. I ended up drawing this Kermit meme inside of the heart. Anyways, I used a detail brush to touch up the stars and used purple paint to create swirls in the background. Now for the actual stamp. I tried just dipping the roll in paint first, and as you can see, that didn't work out so well. Thankfully, I was able to wipe off the excess paint with a wet paper towel. I realized that painting directly on the foam shapes gave me a better result, and that I honestly didn't need the roller. I touched everything up, and here's how the finished page turned out. I really like this, and I would totally buy it if it was a clothing pattern in a store. It's fun just to mess around and see what happens. Honestly, that's how I pretty much do everything. Here are a few of the other stamps I tested out. I really like the texture from the rubber band one. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. They are both at WellerMegs. I also have a website, which you can check out at www.meganweller.org. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!